This is MongolianMindset, and today we're going to be doing a typing session for myself. I like Cyndi Lauper, and so we're going to figure out her personality type. We are still doing the free typing sessions. Like we said, people are getting the value of over $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 bucks for the type of system we do. You're able to ask me questions, Shelly, Thomas, and you're able to get your personality type for free. People are charging for that. We're not doing that. All we ask is that you subscribe to our channel and you join our Facebook group or Discord and you message Cody, and we'll get that done. One of our goals is to have the most accurate MBTI group. Like, we like to poll people in our group and see how they think about something. What's something that they're going through, and how can we alleviate that? Like we said with our group, it's all about self-development. It's all about being the best person that you can be. It's all about growing. It's all about being a champion. And that's our goal, what we want to get back to you. And that's the reason why we do the monthly lives. Because if we are accomplishing goals together, that makes you feel better. And that allows you to be along with us as we set goals for the next month. And the goals aren't about what I'm doing. It's about what you're doing. Like I tell everybody, MongolianMindset is not about Mercer. It's about the whole group. I'm just one person. I tell people all the time, you are one, we are many. This is how we get things done. But Cyndi Lauper is from Personality Database. We don't feel comfortable with her. We don't like her. We don't like Personality Database. We think they're monkeys over there. They have her as the ENFP, okay? You guys know we're going to break down Cyndi Lauper using interaction styles and temperament from Linda Barrens combined with cognitive functions. And that's what we do here. The typing chart has is ENFP. So ENFPs are initiating, they're informative, they're progression, they're abstract, they're TFI, they're SINE. So we're going to see if that's her. And like I said, Thursdays are for Mercer. Let me go over the chart here. So we have initiating versus responding. Are they gregarious, right? Are they changing the subject? Do they feel comfortable leading? Those are more of an initiating role. As you would know, initiating the brain wiring, it's kind of like at the front of the head. So it takes them very easily to the respond to things, right? As a responding person, the information has to travel to the back of their brain and then they respond. So they're going to be more on task. They're not going to change the subject most. They're going to be trying to dig deeper into things. That's primarily like they like meditation, things like that. They'll be more into that versus initiate versus not. Then you have abstract versus concrete. So abstract is all about the what if. That's more of the things outside of the five senses. That's philosophies. That's figurative expression. Pretty much all of those things. And then you got the concrete, like the what is, what has happened, what's happening in the moment, things I've been through, just pretty dry and boring. And you have systematic versus interest, right? So systematic is all about the best process or best way to get things done. Systematic people will install structures or systems to get more control of their life. And what's example of that? Okay, I'm a systematic type. So every time I go into my bathroom to go to the bathroom to take a dump or something, I have a book there that I read 1 to 2 pages. That's a system that I have. Okay, that system is allowing me. I install that system to get more control of my life, to be more intelligent as a person. Another system that I have is I generally keep baby wipes or things on me at all times. That doesn't matter if I travel in my car. That doesn't matter if I have them in my locker room, my locker at work. I have them at my house in both bathrooms, just at all times. Like I keep a bag on me at all times. I'll show you. Let me grab this. This is my bag here. Okay, so every time I go anywhere, you know, this one, the 2 books I'm reading right now. That Enneagram. Do wipes. Like I don't bullshit. Like I'm always gonna have control of my life at all times. Like I'm not one of those people who are gonna like live life without like control. But so you guys get the point of being systematic. So interest is all about like what somebody's getting out of a situation. They're changing routine based off like what's going on. They don't have a system or anything like that. They know what people benefit from something. They're always looking at people's behaviors. Like, oh, that's interest, motive. They're not worried about a system. And then you have direct versus formal. Direct is specific, concise, and to the point. They don't mind telling people what to do. The responding types, not as much as the initiating types, but from a general perspective, they like to tell people what to do. Informing people, they are wordy, they're passive aggressive, they're beating around the bush, they're giving extra information, and they're taking a one down role. They're not choosing their role in the conversation. And then you have they don't like to tell people what to do as well. Like, that's why they're giving you the maximum amount of information. Like, they don't want to tell you to do a set task. Like, I feel like it's irrelevant. Just tell them what to do. But you got pragmatic versus affiliative. I'll get into that later. I believe, like, nowadays the best conversation is informative. Direct get you in a lot of trouble. Pragmatic versus affiliative. Pragmatic is all about utilitarian mindset. So it's about individualistic. It's about being a contrarian. It's about being rebellious. It's all about freedom. They're talking about freedom. They don't like people controlling. That's more of a pragmatic thing. And the affiliative is all about inclusion. Just about interdependence. It's about cooperation. Those things. And the outcome is all about the end product. Are they looking at the end product? Is everything just to get to the end product, or are they on the journey? Like, does the outcome really not matter? And we're gonna be looking at that. Outcome versus progression. And you have SE versus SE and NI. So SE is all about, like, controlling the environment. So we're gonna be talking about what other people are doing. They're gonna be talking from a third perspective. That's what they're most likely gonna be doing. And then NI is all about the best path forward, what will happen, what's most likely to happen, where will I be in 10 years, where will I be in 5 years, that type of thing. And then you got SI. SI is what happened in the past, corresponding what happened to the past to what happens now. That's at the advanced level. And then SI is about comfort. Like, they want to feel comfortable. They want to feel good. They're bitching about, like, the weather and all that. That's SI related. NE is all about the possibilities. It's like, what's possible here? You know, that's going to be mega abstract. You're going to see it. You'll see it, feel it. You'll know it. And T is all about organization. T is all about outside sources. You'll notice with TE people, they're very, like, tend to be systematic. High TE people tend to be very systematic. FI is all about what's valuable to that person, what's their morals, how they feel about a certain situation. And TIFE is all about understanding as a whole. TI is understanding logical frameworks, and FE is about understanding people. So let's get into that. I feel like we took very long. Cyndi Lauper, let's go. And guys, please subscribe. That helps us grow the channel. That helps us grow everything. Yeah.
Welcome to Frank Buckley Interviews. This time on the program, an icon in music whose songs are known around the world. Girls Just Want to Have Fun, just one of her many hits. Music that is fun, but empowering.
Well, it was a song that brought 3 generations of.
Hey, comment below what you think Cyndi Lauper's personality type is, and we will discuss it in the topics.
Women together. Yeah. If that's not empowering, I don't know what was.
Yeah.
And what I wore, the rhinestones from the old ladies, and the chains, and the chains were because we were still chained.
It's Cyndi Lauper on her song.
Cyndi, why you do that to me? That's abstract, Cyndi. Yeah, that's abstract, Cyndi.
Songs, her Broadway musical, Kinky Boots, and Living and Working with Psoriasis.
Frank Buckley Interviews starts now.
Cyndi, this is such a pleasure to have you on the program. Thanks for being in. And please have a sip of water.
I haven't been drinking enough water.
Right. Welcome to Frank Buckley Interviews. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
I want to talk to you about so many things, your music, about your activism, about what you're doing to help people with psoriasis. But I want to start where it all began. Ozone Park, Queens. And
I didn't have psoriasis then. It's a dirty trick. That's all I have to say.
But you were, would you say that you were unconventional even as a kid?
Yeah, I was odd. But I don't think I I just saw everything as being really magical.
I saw everything as being very magical. It's abstract. Let's go back. Catch you
Intentional
guys.
even as a kid.
Yeah, it was odd. But I don't think I was. I just saw everything as being
Magical.
That's all. And I cried a lot when my father would take photos, but I think
Why did you
that's...
cry a lot?
Well, he would snap a picture and I'd cry too, you know. And I guess I just didn't like the bad angles. You know, I really had to be a good angle, I guess.
I really like the bad angles. I'm gonna say that's the S-I-N-E. That's the S-I.
I don't know. Maybe I was Native American, came back, reincarnation. No.
Maybe I was I'm a Native American, reincarnated. I'm gonna say it's abstract yet again.
But I have no idea. And I basically sang a lot. And I would, even when I was crawling on the floor, if there were animals, you know, I just was fascinated with the fact that their eyes were like mine, but their body was different.
People who are your true fans know about
The
this.
eyes were like mine, but the body was different. I would say it's abstract again.
Others may
Animals.
not. That you were homeless for a period yourself.
Yeah, I was.
You
Yeah, well-
You know why? Because in New York State, if you were under 21, you could not sign a lease.
Yeah.
You had to be 21. My mother couldn't sign a lease. My mother.
Okay, that's
Was
informative.
away.
She gave me information there. Okay, so we're gonna tackle for ashes with a side of informative.
Waitress trying to just survive. I didn't have anybody to sign a lease for me, so I was homeless. And I went up to Vermont, and I'll be honest, Vermont saved me. I mean, I'm allergic to the cold, and it was a tough one, but
I'm
This is
allergic
the
to
hostel
cold,
that
and
you-
that's a
I
tough
went
one.
to a
That's S-I.
youth hostel, and they thought I was a runaway because I looked
Talking about what
young.
other people thought, that's T-E. But we want to knock it for T-E-F-I.
And could you imagine if I had psoriasis then? It would have been so awful for me.
Could you imagine if I had psoriasis then? That would have been, awful for me. So she's talking about an abstract concept, and that's more SI. So we're going to peg her right now. For abstract, Cyndi, you have done an amazing job because you're abstract already. I don't think anyone was went abstract that quick. Give me my red. I like red. Abstract. Cyndi Lauper is abstract, okay? Guys, with that being said, if she's abstract, that eliminates a lot of types because all the concrete types are dead. So that means ISTJ, ESTJ, ISTP, ESTP, ISFJ, ESFP, ISFP, and ESFP are completely dead. We're looking at the abstract types right here with Cyndi Lauper.
But I didn't. I got it later on, which is dirty trick. But
You went to this hostel.
I went to the
And
hostel.
how did it save your life?
Well,
She's Journey. That's Journey, dude. She's all about Journey. She's progression. I'm gonna put 1 point for progression there.
they said if you want to get an apartment, I actually went on welfare. So I went down to the welfare office like they said. And I went up to the front. And
I did this, I
looked at
did
the lady.
that. Come on, she's SINE. Let's go and knock her. She's done. She's SINE. With that being said, the abstract types are the SINE. ENTJ and ENFJ are eliminated because they're SE. The INTJ and INFJ are eliminated because they're SE as well. So we're looking at abstract types. We're looking at ENTP, ENFP, INTP, and INFP. Okay, that's what we're looking at right now. Looking at those 4 types because she is a SINE user. She's talking from a first person perspective, what she's went through.
And I
In
said, look, can you just get me a job? I want to work. Give me a job. I don't want to be on welfare. It's not even enough money for toilet paper. You want to get me a job? So she looked at me, and immediately, because in the 70s there were programs set up, she sent me in to see this guy who talked to me and said, well, what is it you'd like to do? I said, well, I love
That's progression.
to work with animals.
I love the word animal.
I
It's
worked at the racetrack. I
TEFI.
was a hot walker, so he got me a job in a kennel. He also helped me get my GED, and I went to college.
Talking about SI perspective is again.
And then I
He helped me.
realized, I don't want to be a teacher. I want to be a painter. And then I went back to New York again and worked for
Progression.
some really
Progression again.
sexist guys. And this one guy, he was a musician and a painter. And I figured, if he could do it, or I could do it. And I answered some ads and wanted to be a background singer and just went from there.
And I just wanted to be a background singer, and I just went from there. Progression.
Of singles and albums sold. You're an EGOT. You're one short of an EGOT right now. You got the Emmy, you got the Grammy, you got the Tony. Next is the Oscar. People use words like icon to describe you now. When you were that kid in Ozone Park, did you envision this moment, or did you expect it someday?
I used to practice in front of the shower curtain, taking bows, giving, big performances, because it was a curtain.
I would say that's abstract. She's not talking about the what is. She's talking about what could happen, what's possible. Certain countings and bowing and doing all that. That's abstract.
No. I guess I did.
You did.
I just was in another world.
I was in another world. Obviously, you are abstract.
Whatever wasn't good here was always good up here.
Whatever is good wasn't here is always good up here. Abstract yet again.
In your brain. That's important for people to have, because if you can imagine something,
If you can
be it.
If you can imagine something, you can be it. That's abstract yet again. Gosh, he's beating the shit out of
You
abstract.
did imagine it, because some people would say, oh, you think, I'll become a singer, but you never think you're going to achieve the levels of stardom that you achieved, worldwide fame and all of that stuff. But you actually saw it.
Well, the worldwide thing just happened.
It just happened.
Because that
Progression. That's 5 stats for progression. She's progression. That's 5 for progression. Okay. So we're down to 2 types. We are down to E and NTP, or ENFP, and that's because she's abstract, she's progression, she's SINE. So the only 2 types that are left are ENTP and ENFP. So that's wonderful by her. Comment below which one you think she is, ENTP or ENFP. Let's go. We'll be hunting hard on this. Is she pragmatic? Is she not? Is she affiliative? Is she TFI or is she TIFE?
was the path that they put you on.
They put you on a path. They put you on a path. That's SI. She's not talking about my path. That's SI. That's SI.
And then you go to, first thing I did was go to foreign countries.
Right.
To break out of there. When I went to Japan, it was like another, it was another world. It was fascinating and it was great. And, you know, when
First
I was
person perspective, when we hit it for SI again.
My mother would say, go outside, dig a hole to China. And, you know, be digging and digging a long time, get the orange dirt and thinking I'm close. I'm close.
Abstract.
You know?
She believes she can do it in China. She believes possibilities. She believes in possibilities. I'd try that shit too.
Actually go to Japan, then you go to China. It's a revelation.
Yeah.
You know.
Was this right in 1983 when the first album broke?
Let me stop playing. Let me hit it for informative too. She's informative. She's giving extra information. Informative. And automatic, those types are initiating as well, so let's go ahead and hit her for that.
Yes, that's when I was in Blue Angel, we sold 12 copies.
Right. That was the band that you had before you broke
Yeah.
as a solo performer. And so before we get to 83 and the solo performing, let's talk about Blue Angel. When you signed your first record deal, you were with this band, and
I love
people
that
kept
band.
people kept
I
coming
love
after you and
that
saying,
band. TFI.
"We want to sign you as a solo," and you said no, it's got to be with the band.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, because didn't you ever see what they do to these women? I did. I knew the whole thing.
Do you see what they do with these women? That's any consequences?
And even when I sat down with this guy from Germany,
I'm gonna slap it for interest there too.
the band, he was talking about, the head guy was talking about turning me into like the next Barbra Streisand. I love Barbra Streisand. But
I love Barbra Streisand. That's TFI.
I just thought I didn't want to be like somebody else. I could only be a second-rate somebody else. But I could be a first-rate me.
That's
And
TFI.
that's what I wanted. When I said to him, listen,
That's TFI again. Second rate somebody else, first rate me. TFI. TFI.
can't you get somebody else for that job? Because, I really like rock and roll, and I think it's good to sing both, because I used to sing a genius producer who was going to say, and then I'll bring the choir in, and I was like, nah, maybe not, next time. Hey, I'll call you.
Right.
Because that's not what I wanted, and it wasn't who I was.
It wasn't
And
who I
just wanted
was.
to
That's TFI as well.
have authentic experiences
Authentic experiences. That's TFI and SI.
with authentic people.
With authentic
and
people.
sing my best.
Coming up next.
You do see anybody, and you do. My poor husband, and I never felt more unattractive in my whole life.
More with Cyndi Lauper when we come back. Your career is still on fire after all these years.
I don't know, kind of.
please.
It is. Huh?
As a performer and now as a Broadway composer,
That was an accident. But although there were a few Broadway
Initiated. But we know that. He's.
like
How is that
James
an accident?
Lapine, because I didn't know what I was doing. I
You
still
got a
don't
Tony
know.
for it.
Because I didn't know what I was doing progression. Still don't know.
Your
Yes,
first
of
time out of
course.
the gate, you won a Tony for Kinky Boots.
I tried to make it catchy, and I tried to do everything they wanted. Everything
Talking
Harvey
about doing what
said
they wanted, that's NE. She don't have outcome.
wanted, I tried to do. I had a couple of disagreements, like he thought my lyrics were like in Not My Father's Son. He said needs to be more simple, because I was saying things like, I'm not my father's son, I'm not the image of what he dreamed of, with the strength of Sparta, the patience of Job, still couldn't be the one to echo what he'd done and mirror what was not in me. But the whole mirror
Informative.
what was not in me and echo what he's done, like other people don't say that stuff. I thought it was normal, but it was okay because it got the message across. It meant something deeper than just words. I'm not as clever as, Rodgers and Hammerstein. They're like,
I'm not as clever as Rosa Housing, that's TE name drop.
they're the ones. And West Side Story, that's the one. And let's face it, when in South Pacific, when Rodgers and Hammerstein wrote, you gotta be taught to hate and fear, it's gotta be drummed in your dear little ear, you gotta be carefully taught. That
Informative.
penetrated me as a little kid.
Impacted me as a little
You know,
kid.
it
That's an SI perspective. She's been impacted by somebody.
It over and over again, you hear what it means.
Yeah.
When I did Kinky Boots, I just thought they wanted me to write some pop songs.
Talking about what other
They
people
were
want, that's NE. They want me to write some pop songs.
looking for authentic pop.
Yes.
So I thought authenticity was the most important thing. And whenever he explained to me what he wanted me to write, I would try and write it. And if it was no good, he'd say, "Oh, Christina, Cyndi, give me the lyrics. You can rewrite them later," And so it was wonderful working under Harvey Fierstein. He was and is a mentor to me, and I really had the dream team. I still take vocal lessons. I still work out as much as I can. I mean, I did 11 minutes of yoga this morning, but at least I did 11 minutes.
Right.
You know,
Progression. At least I did 11 minutes. That's progression.
Be healthy. You got to be strong. To have a strong voice, you have to have a strong body. When I was on the Share tour, at first I was doing yoga,
strong
then
body.
I was doing weights, then I was doing
this, I was doing that. This is first person.
I got psoriasis.
It's serious. I mean, because a lot of us don't know that much about it. We've heard of
Yeah, you
psoriasis.
think it's a rash.
Yeah.
It's
Initiate
not a rash.
it.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. That's why I'm here today to talk about this campaign that this company, Novartis, came up with.
Campaign,
which I think
that's interest. She got interest. That's why she's here today. You heard her.
Really good. Because I had to work with psoriasis. I got pretty creative trying to hide my psoriasis during performances. I wound up.
I got pretty creative. I just use any to hide psoriasis.
Novartis, because my team, my lawyer, my manager, the producers of Kinky Boots, they were way fed up with me being sick. And they sent me to a meeting with a doctor and patients, other people who really had it. Not like a little rash, not the beginning of it, but like full-fledged. And the National Psoriasis Society. And they changed my mind about everything.
It changed your mindset, though, meeting with these folks.
Yeah, I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
You do feel alone, and you don't want to see anybody, and you don't. My poor husband, and I never felt more unattractive in my whole life. I would listen to these people.
I would do this, I would do that. That's all
The
you
one
need.
girl was a ballerina, and no one would lift her because they thought it was contagious.
Talking about what other people thought, they
told-
thought that was contagious. Okay, we're done. She's ENFP, guys. Cyndi Lauper is ENFP. This is a different one on you guys. I know you guys aren't ready about that. So Cyndi Lauper is TE. That's what she is. So with that being said, because she was abstract, ESFP. They're both ENTP and ENFP are both abstract, but TB and TFI, that kills that. Okay. And her being interest also killed it, because ENTPs are systematic. So personality database actually got this one correct. Comment below a celebrity you want type. Like I said, tomorrow we have Dario Nardi on. That's gonna be a amazing interview. Not tomorrow, Saturday. He is the neuroscientist, a personality author. He's the Magic Diamond. And we keep the Udemy courses below from Dario Nardi. Me personally, I buy the 4th course because I already know a lot about typology and everything. So I don't need the first 2 and 3. But the 500 brain scans, that's the most things that I'm interested in. Dario Nardi is the GOAT. If you're trying to take your knowledge from beginner level to the next level, buy those courses, man. And in the poor communication and information that's out there. This is Mongolian Mindset, and we are out.